Mick Putnam and I schemed, we're going to blow out the schedule right away and see how Shandy does getting back in there. Two things I want to do before we turn it over to the MC and keep on with the next block. So I know Mr. Clay is not going to speak to us on the agenda until later, but since you're here, sir, what I want to do is introduce you, because you're going to have a chance to meet those maybe in the team you may not know or haven't had a chance to meet so far. So Mr. Sean Blanky is our senior advisor to the Secretary of Homeland Security for the Coast Guard. He came into that role rejoining the administration in late January. In that time, he has served as the Secretary's direct representative to provide civilian oversight and control from the political level over the Coast Guard. That's the constitutional system at work. Military service, all of the military services and our armed forces depend on civilian control of the military. What we haven't experienced in our services history, recent history, is direct focus civilian oversight and control, and advocacy, and championing of the Coast Guard's needs, and someone fighting for us in the arena. And that's what Mr. Blanky's been doing. Mr. Sean Blanky is a Coast Guard veteran. He is a class of 2003 Coast Guard Academy graduate, and the other 2003 graduates. Woo! Usually when you ask that question, most classes, it doesn't even come out that strong. So Mr. Blanky served a career in operations in the Coast Guard, response ashore and cyberspace operations. He's a Coast Guard combat veteran, deployed under U.S. Cyber Command in Afghanistan, conducting offensive operations forward, close access operations. And so he's got that in his background. He went into the Coast Guard Reserves, retired as a Coast Guard senior officer, and then he went into government in the civilian world. He was in Department of Navy CIO organization as a senior leader. He went into the National Security Council, where he directed and wrote the national cyber strategy for the first national cyber strategy in the prior Trump administration. He also then went over to the Department of Energy, where he served as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Energy for Cybersecurity and Emergency Response. And then he went into the private sector, where he's been busy in the tech sector since then and now rejoins government here. So we're incredibly honored to have him serving in the role as the senior advisor to the Secretary, as the Secretary for the Coast Guard. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Blanky. And then joining him, you see standing there is Master Chief Hefner, Rating Force Master Chief for the Wilson Rating Extraordinaire, but he's also taken on an additional role detailed from the MCMOG office as the senior enlisted advisor for the Force Design 2028 of Mr. Blanky. So Master Chief Hefner, thanks for your leadership. Last thing I want to say is, I don't know that I've been in an SLC where everyone in uniform was dressed in STVs. You guys look long. All right, thanks. I will turn back over to Admiral Shane.
Thank you, Admiral Lunday and Master Chief Jones. For our first event, I'd like to invite Commander Laura Springer to the MC podium. Commander Springer will lead us in a session to share highlights on innovations occurring throughout the Coast Guard and in recognizing the 2024 Captain Neil Speed Thompson Innovation Award recipients.
Good morning. At this time, I'd like to invite Seven Lee to the stage.
surprises many of you, but I don't think that's something you associate with the word Lisa when you hear me. But I am, but I'm more excited than I am nervous, because this is an exciting day. And I am here today and have the distinct honor of welcoming you to an event that I'm passionate about, which is recognizing some innovators within the Coast Guard that came in with some great ideas. Before I go into that any further, though, I do want to recognize some of our most senior leadership in the building. So obviously, Mr. Sean Planky, who is the senior advisor to the Secretary of the Coast Guard. Then our acting commandant, Admiral Kevin Lunday, the acting vice commandant for the Coast Guard, Vice Admiral Pete Gaudier, and then the 14th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard. So welcome all of you. Then I'm also going to just take a moment to thank right now, before it gets lost, thanking Commander Laura Springer from the CG9216, the Research Development Innovation Team. For today's work and effort that's been put together, Commander Springer has solicited all of the candidates for this honor, vetted the process through an IPT, then we vetted the process through the Guidance Council, which is a series of SESs and flags that voted upon these, and then she's put this together to include the awards and all of that. So I just want to make sure I recognize Laura and thank you publicly for your hard work and dedication to this. Today, we recognize the Coast Guard innovators who, through their creativity, their talents, and collaborative efforts, have demonstrated their commitment to creating a culture of continuous innovation. Their bias for action drives service improvements that helps the Coast Guard bring enduring value to the nation and ensure that we are Semper Paratus, always ready for the challenges ahead. I may or may not have used AI in accordance with DHS policy to generate these remarks. I just want to take a break and step back from my script. So like I'm Jenny, I'm going to go off script a little bit. When I came to the Coast Guard, when I joined the Coast Guard, I voluntarily joined the Coast Guard almost 11 years ago. And when I came to the Coast Guard, I was told the Coast Guard, we operate with state of the market. We cannot afford to go after the big things or the state of the art. So what you're going to see within the Coast Guard is state of the market. And I kind of understood that because I looked at our budget and $1 billion for our entire PCI portfolio. And just to put that in perspective of why that was shocking for me, is when I was an 05 Commander PM of the Army's heavy tactical vehicles, my annual budget was $1 billion. So when I came to the Coast Guard, and I was in the interview then with Admiral Bobadich at the time, and I was talking about all the different portfolios, and I had done my research with Indy when I saw that $35 billion. And my mind didn't register that $35 billion was for the entire Coast Guard. It was not for PC&I. And I was just dumbfounded with that. I thought, how do we have the world's greatest Coast Guard that's operating off of $1 billion PCI budget? So as the years evolved, and I went through my job as the technical director down in 9, and then I moved up into 7, I really applaud and I give a shout out to the CG9 leadership that really spearheaded taking innovation and moving it forward. I thank them for that, and then I had the opportunity to get involved, and I'm hoping that we're able to take it the next way. Whether I am or not, that doesn't matter, because it's not a single person elevating innovation. As I found that video, I shared that video, every single person sitting in this room is an innovator. All it takes is the starting of an idea. And then you find the individuals around you that help foster that. And for you spouses sitting in this room, you were included in that. Some of the best conversations take place around the dinner table. So I challenge the spouses in the room here. Challenge your military or civilian spouse to bring ideas to the table. So I am now looking forward to the future. As we talked this morning, as the Commandant shared, we're in a world of change. Change is good, and for innovation, it's necessary. We absolutely have to do things differently. So now I'll go back to the script, but I wanted to give my little passionate plea on that. So today's award recipients were selected from 51 nominations, and the teams they represent have shown tremendous drive and initiative in tackling some of the service's most challenging problems. Tackling problems ranging from debris field mapping, mental health, and maintaining lighthouses built in 1889. I firmly believe that every coastie is an innovator. While the efforts of these exceptional service members and teams being recognized today have provided tangible benefits across the enterprise, we hope they will also serve to inspire you to adopt the mindset of relentless innovation to innovate for better organizational performance as we keep our eyes on the prize, creating a better Coast Guard. So at the end of my comments, I now take and invite Admiral Gautier to please come up on the stage and to share his thoughts on innovation and where he just also is going to focus on innovation.
Morning, colleagues. So, you talked about change. Well, this is the first one today. So, the Commandant would have loved to have been here to, in my stead, and help celebrate the Innovation Awards here in the next few minutes. But he has been called to an important White House meeting supporting backbenching the Secretary, talking about Homeland Security task forces. So, he's going to be on doing that this morning. So, in an inversion of what usually happens between the Commandant and Vice Commandant, he does all the work, I get all the fun. But what a great joy it is to be up here to celebrate innovation. As we talk today about our latest innovators, our current innovators, we're inspired by the innovators of the past. And I think it's important to realize that the U.S. Coast Guard itself is an innovation. When you look back at our history, Queen the Alexander Hamilton, the creation of a few small ships to collect tonnage-based tariffs at the entrances to our ports, helped foster and grow our nascent country. The passage of the Lighthouse Act in the first week of the first Congress ever to build Boston Lake, which I think we're going to be talking about, was an innovation paid for by those tariffs, by the way. And ever since then, from sail to steam to diesel, from the innovation of the use of aircraft, helicopters for search and rescue, all the way to the present when we talk about expanding the use of unmanned systems to perform our important missions, not just as we do them today, but ever better, always improving mission execution. We're inspired by the past. Literally, the racing stripe, the red and blue stripe on all of our Coast Guard cutters is an innovation, copied by every single Coast Guard on planet Earth. Let's just remember that. So we have a long history of doing new and important things first in the United States history. That's important to remember as we move forward here to today. You mentioned about how big was your budget for research and development?
Everybody's current year now?
No,
Oh,
back when you
back
were
in the day,
working for those other folks.
Research and development had about, probably about $4 billion.
Yeah, $4 billion, so ours is, depending how you cut it out, $7 million for research and development center. But the point here is, I have a quote for you from Orson Welles, the famous movie director. He said, "The enemy of art is the absence of limitations." So it is, in fact, limitations that drive us all to have to be innovative, to continue to be relevant. It simply is a matter of relevance for us. The good news here is that, like no other time in the Coast Guard history, the tools are all there, right? Data management, AI, machine learning, 3D printing, you name it. All those tools are available to our folks. And it may be a little bit uncomfortable for us in that us old folks may be a little less familiar with the usage of these things, but the young people in the Coast Guard are masters at it. So it is our obligation as leaders to unleash that creativity, to make sure that they have the tools and support and freedom and the backing of us as senior leaders to do their best work in an innovative fashion. So with that, Lisa, turn it over to you.
Turn it over to you, Lauren.
Thank you, Admiral. I would like to invite the 14th Master Chief Petty Officer of the United States Coast Guard, Keith Jones, forward to join Vice Admiral Gautier and Ms. Kirkpatrick on stage for the presentation of awards. Awards are presented in 6 categories: science or technology, operations or readiness, administration, training or support, culture change, auxiliary achievement, and the Joel Magnuson Award for Innovation. In the science and technology category, the Coast Guard Navigation Center Maritime Safety Information Distribution Division is recognized for their efforts to develop advancing maritime safety MSI app with near real-time GIS display. Accepting the award on behalf of the team are Mr. Michael Bacca and Mr. Christopher Erskine. The MSI application is live. Everyone in this room can find it on navcen.uscg.gov. This application transforms how critical, authoritative Coast Guard marine safety information is delivered to the public. This innovative web-based tool replaces static PDFs with an interactive geographic information system display, providing near real-time updates for local notices to mariners and light list data. By revolutionizing how maritime data is shared, the MSI application ensures mariners have the latest information at their fingertips, enhancing decision-making and reducing navigational risks. Experience the future of maritime safety. In the operations or readiness category, the Cutter William Shadwick Automaties are recognized for their efforts to develop automated logs, bringing logs into the 21st century. Accepting the award on behalf of the team is Captain Chad Brick. Introduces a QR code-based system that enables personnel to log maintenance data instantly using mobile devices. By scanning a QR code at an equipment station, crew members can directly enter data into a structured Excel-based system, ensuring accuracy and reducing reporting delays. This system requires no specialized software, making it highly adaptable across all Coast Guard units without costly implementation barriers. By integrating digital solutions into routine operations, Automated Logs establishes a scalable, fleet-wide model for modernizing Coast Guard maintenance tracking. In the administration, training, or support category, members of Base Boston Naval Engineering Department are recognized for the development of naval engineering, agile operations, and fabrication. Accepting the award on behalf of the team is Commander Matthew Eiler. Embodying a spirit of innovation, skilled tradesmen and junior petty officers combine to improve quality, timeliness, and capability in naval engineering support. In total, they developed 11 innovative solutions to improve productivity and safety. Improvements included in assembling a Mark 38 weapon system toolkit, a way to facilitate coolant pump backlash readings from outside a cutter's engine, an expedited method for portable welders to connect to shore tie plugins, better safety rails to improve shipyard fall protection, a buoy fabrication that saved $243,000, and re-engineered Boston Light wheel loaders, originally fabricated in 1889. These are just a few of the many innovations realized by this team and replicable throughout the entire Coast Guard. In the culture change category, the District 1 Hiswell Regional Practice Team is recognized for their Total Guardian program. Accepting the award on behalf of the team is Captain Chad Brick. there's something in the water in District 1. Total Guardian is an innovative suite of initiatives that expands beyond traditional medical readiness to address mental health, administrative, financial, and professional readiness, as well as dependent services. This holistic approach enhances support systems, mitigates challenges from primary care shortages to geographic distribution, and increases overall resiliency. By recognizing the whole person, Total Guardian delivers scalable, repeatable solutions that enhance Coast Guard readiness and quality of life. He's done. In the category for auxiliary achievement, the New River Valley Flotilla team is recognized for developing a cloud-based debris field and hazard mapping methods using GPS. Accepting the award on behalf of the team is Commodore John Krogman and Auxiliarist Ben Newby. The New River Valley Flotilla pioneered a cloud-based debris mapping technique using GPS tracking during the response to Hurricane Helene. This innovation enables rapid debris field measurement, hazard identification, and real-time data sharing among interagency partners. The scalable methodology improved disaster response coordination and efficiency, providing a model for all future Coast Guard operations. Our final award category is named in honor of Commander Joel Magnuson, who passed away in October of 2003. Commander Magnuson was the recipient of the 2003 Innovation Award for his initiative to establish the District 7 University. This year, the Commander Joel Magnuson Innovation Award for Management recognizes the DCOI Global Dashboard Team for their Global Dashboard for International Activities and Engagement. Accepting the award on behalf of the team are Captain Tamara Whalen and Lieutenant Rebecca Evans. The DCOI Global Dashboard Initiation Team, which included members from both the Coast Guard and a detailed Presidential Management Fellow from Customs and Border Protection, came together to construct a tool that integrates existing international affairs data with established regional and country-specific strategic objectives, making it possible for the first time in Coast Guard history for every member of the service to see and understand prioritized global efforts at a glance. Users can set parameters to view international activities and engagements by date, status, location, category of engagement, and mission objective, with access to associated documents and reports. The user-friendly interface provides international affairs stakeholders with a centralized system for documenting, analyzing, synchronizing, grouping, and strategizing Coast Guard international affairs objectives and engagements. At this point, I'd like all 16 recipients to come back on the stage.
I'm sorry, I was stretched this way, so we'll look out there. Sounds good.
Also, anyone else in the audience who was not on stage, who is a member of the team, please come on the stage. Again, here are our 2024 Captain Niels P. Thompson Innovation winners. Thank you to everyone on the line, and thank you all for your Your spirit to innovate and your bias for action has made positive and tangible meaningful impacts and serves as an inspiration for all service members to be active participants in building tomorrow's Coast Guard. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank
Congratulations again to all the awardees, and thank you to CG 9 and 26 for their work on the Coast Guard's Innovation Program. We're now going to take a break till 09. Before I do, I actually have a legitimate public service announcement. Senior leaders